So Andy, thanks for joining us. Does that result go any way to exercising the demons from the league game against Tunbridge Wells?
It's obviously it's nice to get the result and to progress in the cup. That was obviously the goal at the start of the game. Whether it exercises the performance that we put in the league game, for me, the only way that that's going to be achieved is if we go to Tunbridge Wells in 3 weeks' time and probably pick up 3 points, because we've said from sort of like day one that league is always our priority. Obviously, it's nice to have runs in the cup as well, but yeah, losing at home 5-1 in the manner that we did to Tunbridge Wells in the league was a hard one, and I mean they fully deserved it on the day, as I think we've previously said. But yeah, nice to get a result tonight. But yeah, for me, I wouldn't say exercises that until we can hopefully go and get some points off of them at their place. Did
you use the defeat as motivation for the team today?
It was mentioned, but I think we shouldn't be needing to motivate players off the back of previous results. Players should be motivated, in our opinion, for every game, the next game that comes along. And we've got a dressing room of players that want to go and win things. This cup obviously presents an opportunity to do that. So for them, that's the biggest motivation to go and win the game. When you could question the performance, whether that motivation was enough, but essentially the job was done. So we're happy to progress.
What do you put the second half performance tonight down to?
I think we just touched on it in the dressing room. I think we looked rusty. So we didn't play Saturday following the game at Deal last Saturday, which was obviously a great result. We trained on Tuesday, but then we weren't in this Saturday. So I think it looked like we just lost a little bit of momentum, and I think we looked rusty. I think so. Whether it was maybe we looked a bit leggy because we hadn't done anything. I think you can give a lot of credit to Tunbridge Wells, because again I thought they absolutely dominated the second half and we were genuinely hanging on. We said at half time, being 3-1 up, that if we can get the next goal then potentially that puts it to bed, but obviously they got the next goal. Excuse me, and then we were kind of under a little bit of pressure towards the end of the game, and just glad to hang on really in the end.
Were you happy to see that sort of grit and determination to hang on at the end?
Yeah,
and dig it out?
I think that's a good characteristic to show as a squad, that you can dig out results. We've done that on a couple of occasions in the league, and you can again, I think I said it earlier, you can argue the fact that it's cup football. All that essentially is important is the result that you get through. If you want to dig into the performance, then I think anyone that was at that game, probably from the Erith&Belvedere side anyway, would say that we weren't up to our usual standard, particularly the last two, perhaps the last 4 or 5 league games actually, where we've picked up since the league defeat to Tunbridge Wells and have gone on a good run again. That was a slightly below, a long way below par performance for me.
Do you think the sort of disjointed performance was down to making a few changes to the starting lineup?
Yeah, we mixed it up a little bit. That can always affect things. But we've got a squad of, I think we've got 17 or 18 players at the moment. All players that should be good enough to play in this side. That's what you need to go and win things. You want a squad of players, that are all capable of covering for each other. But when people haven't played as frequently as others, sometimes it's difficult to come in and take that opportunity. So I think that's definitely a factor. We gave a couple of players the night off. Obviously RJ had a night off, and AJ at left back, who has been outstanding since he's come in. And we tried Ryan Palmer on the left. Ben Wilson's been out for a couple of weeks, so he wasn't quite ready to come back in and start the game. So we tried Ryan Palmer there, and yeah, I mean, that's a fairly new position for him. You could argue, is it any different to playing as a right fullback? But essentially, he wasn't on it as he has been in the last few games, in my opinion. So yeah, those changes do impact things. So, yeah, disappointing, I suppose, that we can't continue that level of performance when we are rotating players. But I think part of us as a management team, we expect that.
Yeah, I mean, it helps to look at players in different positions. And one of the selections today was playing Lewis Chambers at centre back, rather than his usual position in midfield. Is that a position you know that he can play in? Or?
He's played that position in the past, so we are aware that he's capable of doing it. I think we've given RJ the night off. Jack Miles is having a break from football at the moment, so he wasn't available. And we haven't really got another natural centre half in that position. So we know Lewis can do it. We thought again we'd use the opportunity to have a look at that tonight. And yeah, I actually thought we missed him in the middle of the park. With the shape that we've played in the last couple of games, we've gone with Jay, George Munger and Lewis all together as a free, and it's worked really well for that type of game. And I think it just looked we're a little bit outnumbered in the middle of the park. Although the boys worked hard in there to try and win that battle, but it was a tough ask for them. And I think taking Lou out of that was a bit difficult.
Would you say we were slightly more direct tonight as well than we have been?
That was deliberate. That was part of the tactic. We felt that we could hurt them by turning them. And I think if you look at the goals that we actually scored, they've all come from wide areas where we've put balls in good areas, and then something's happened from that. So that was a tactic. We're getting to that time of year when pitches can get a little bit heavy, a little bit sticky, and you've got to be careful and not try and overplay at times. So it's a good tactic to have. Being a bit more direct can cause problems to teams. And I think, to be honest, 3-1 at half time, although we wasn't at our best, I think we probably could have had another couple at least, like really good chances. So we could have been 4-5-1 up. And then from that position, I don't think we're going to be losing the game. So you could argue the tactic worked despite us not playing our best football.
Yeah. How happy are you for Tunde Ederonmu to score a hat-trick tonight? And obviously he scored away at Deal 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, personally, I'm buzzing for Tunde. I've known him for a long time. I actually played with him when he was coming through, when he was a bit younger. And he's a prolific goal scorer. That's why we brought him to the club. I think he was struggling a little bit with his confidence, so he'd spent probably 5 or 6 weeks on the bench. I've said it in the dressing room, he is an example to all of the players in that squad in how to deal with not being in the side. He's got his head down, he's worked hard, he's taken his opportunity when he's got that from the bench, and to be rewarded with a hat-trick tonight, I'm just really pleased for him because he deserves it, and he's a handful. When he's in that form, I don't think there's a better hold-up striker that will get goals for you as well. He works his socks off. He can win things in the air. He can get it under and play with his back to goal. I think the goals he scored, all 3 left-footed finishes tonight, by the way. So he's capable of scoring all different types of goals. And just really pleased for him overall because he genuinely deserves that.
Yeah, so all the hard work has paid off.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he's getting back to his best.
Absolutely. At the minute, he's flying. So long may that continue.
Definitely. And looking ahead, we've got Fisher on the weekend.
Yeah.
What's the approach for that one?
I think it's important to focus. Nice to get the win in the cup. Focus back on the league. Keep ticking those games off. Fisher present, I think, a different problem than perhaps a Tunbridge Wells side or a Deal or an Erith that we've played recently. They'll be lively. Like, we don't underestimate them at all. They've got players that can hurt you. They've got pace. I think that was one of our best performances when we went there and won 3-0. And we obviously had the situation with no Adam Malloy and our reserve keeper getting injured and Fraser going in goal. But we wouldn't say ground out. We actually performed exceptionally well to get that result. So I think if we're on it, we have to be on it, because otherwise, if we're not, like any team in this league, you can get punished if you're not fully focused and one up for the battle. And then we always say you've got to put that work rate in. You've got to win that battle first, and then we should have enough quality to go and hurt teams. And Saturday's no different. Another big important league game for us.
Yeah. And just parking Erith and Belvedere for a second, we've had a request in to ask you your World Cup pick.
Okay. My heart says England, obviously. Whether we're good enough, I've been fairly encouraged with what I've seen so far. I think the USA game obviously wasn't the best performance, but I think at some point during that game, to me, it was like we were content with getting the point, probably on the back of realising we're probably going to get the result against Wales. So Southgate gets a lot of criticism for how he sets his side up. I personally think he's done an unbelievable job. I think he's galvanised the squad of players they turn up, they want to play for their country, and that's how it should be. So that goes a long way for me. Heart says England. I'm gonna say France though. I think I just think they've got that experience, they've got that threat, they've got a very, very good squad of players. I think we can potentially meet them in the quarterfinals, so that could be a tricky one. So yeah, I'll go France.
Yeah, same with me. As to say, yeah,
it has been a great World Cup though. To be honest,
there's some good upsets.
There's been some great upsets, and every team except France, in my opinion, has looked not kind of as good as I was expecting them to be. So for Brazil, for example, a little bit chaotic. Obviously, they've got talent, but Spain again quite impressive
against Costa Rica. Very impressive, but not so good against Germany.
So it's a very tough call. We'll find out in a couple of weeks, and hopefully I'm wrong and England have won it, and we'll all be buzzing.
Brilliant. And as for Erith and Belvedere, we go again on Saturday.
Yeah, another league game. I think we've got a bit of a Christmas do up here at the club as well, so it'd be good to get everyone's families down as well. So yeah, that should be good. Should be a good day. Hopefully we get 3 points to give everyone a nice bit of early Christmas cheer.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks for your time, Andy.
Cheers,
really appreciate it.